Hi, I'm Chris at Integrate AV. If you have any questions about what we're covering today, please email us education@integrateav.com.au or you can call us 1800 742 748.
In this video, I'm looking at the gallery in Smart Notebook. The gallery is somewhere you can find images and interactive elements to insert into your lessons. In order to go into the gallery, I have to find the gallery icon, which looks a little bit like this, and it's located on the far side of my taskbar over here. So I'm going to find it, it's right here, and I'm going to click on it. Here now we can see that there are pictures, interactive elements, all sorts of things that we can use. The easiest way to find something is simply to search for it. So right now I'm going to search for Astronaut. In order to search, I'll come up and click the little magnifying glass. Now we have a number of options. We can look at different folders that are going to contain different images or aspects of Astronaut. We can come down specifically to our pictures, or finally, you're going to see 3D objects. This is an exciting inclusion into the gallery. Let's have a look at what our 3D object looks like. Let me create a new page. In order to add something to a page from the gallery, all I have to do is drag it across and it will appear here. You can see the images are quite good quality. Let's have a look at this 3D image. This is a 3D spacesuit. You can see with this that I'm now able, with my mouse or with my finger, to manipulate the image. I can spin it around, I can rotate on various axes, and this is a really dynamic and fun teaching tool. Students love getting up to the panel and manipulating these for themselves. Of particular interest, there are some 3D objects of different parts of anatomy, which are really a fantastic resource for the science classroom. Another way that I can add images into my notebook is by using our add-ons. The symbol for the add-on is a puzzle piece like this. I can find it over here, or on my screen, I also have add-ons pinned here. Let's have a look at what our add-ons are. The first is the image web search, and this is how I can import images not from the gallery, but actually from the internet. The images are powered by Bing in the search, and the great thing is these are all Creative Commons, and so we can use them without any fear of any legal issues whatsoever. So now if I search, I can find a picture of a desert. All I have to do now, of course, is drag it across. However, I also have the option not just searching pictures, but searching for clip art. Clip art gives me lower resolution and often animated images, and they can be quite cool. So for example, rather than having a full photograph, what I can do is put in clip art of different objects and people. Now, a couple of things here that are going to help you. Firstly, in each of these images, you're going to see a link here in the bottom left-hand corner. These links are going to take you to the original source of these images. If I want to get rid of them, I can right-click on the image and come down to link. Here, I can simply remove the link, and now it's gone. Likewise, with all of my other images, rather than right-clicking, I can also come up to this corner icon here, come down to link, and remove that link. Let's say I want to place this cowboy into the desert. You can see that he has a white background that is obscuring what's behind. There is a fantastic way of changing this. Again, I can right-click or I can click on the corner icon and come to Set Image Transparency. Now, I can click areas of the picture to make them transparent. So I'm going to click on the parts of the white background, and it's going to automatically take that out of the image. And now he will fit perfectly onto any background. The other thing that I would say is when we are creating scenes, let's say we have images that are overlapping. If I wanted to put this image of the desert behind this image, what I would do is right click on the image or click on the corner icon, come to order and send it to the back or send it backwards. You can see this changes the order of the pictures on the page. Let's have a look at some interactive tools that we have in the gallery. So once more, I'm going to come to the gallery over here. There are a few that I'd like to point out and draw your attention to. The first one is the dice. So I'll search for dice and then click the magnifying glass. Down here, you'll see interactive and multimedia. Obviously, this is where we find our interactive elements. And we have the dice. The dice is a wonderful tool, and it's actually very applicable to a wide range of activities that we might want to run. If I click on the dice or touch it, obviously the dice will roll. However, we can manipulate this dice quite a lot. I'm going to come to the settings cog that is on the top right corner, and you can see here that I can do different things with the dice. So I have one dice at the moment, but by clicking on this plus, I can increase the number of dice that I have, and I can have up to 9. To go back, I just click on the settings cog again, and now we can click or touch and roll all 9 dice at once. This is the traditional dice here. However, we can also have text, and in custom, we can have images. Let's have a look at how we do this. I'm going to come to another page that I've set up previously. Okay, let's go back to the gallery because I want to insert a dice. Now I'm going to make this dice text. So I'm going to click on my settings cog, and then I'm going to click on text. Now I can type things onto each face of the dice. So let's type some places. Let's say the desert, the beach, the forest, space, school, and home. What we now have is those words on each of the faces of the dice. What I'm setting up here is a kind of narrative prompt. We can use the dice to randomize different things in order to start telling a story. So there we have my text dice. Let's now put some images on the dice. You'll see that I have already put these images from the gallery onto my page. I'll click on the settings cog and come to custom. Now what I can do is put any images, even from the internet, onto this page and then simply drag them on. So let's put our animals on the dice. Now you'll see that my cursor is right on the dice here, and so the animal, the kangaroo in this case, is going to go to that face. I have to hover my mouse over that cursor. So now I'm just dragging them on. It's a very simple process. The other thing that I can do if I wish is to change the color of my dice. And I can do this with the traditional dice or the text dice or the custom dice. So we can have different dice of different colors. Okay, I'm going to close it by clicking on the settings cog there. And now when I click or touch, we roll the dice. So for this activity, what we could have is a narrative prompt. So let's write a story about a camel in a forest. We can also introduce other dice and other randomizing interactive tools. A great randomizing interactive tool is the spinner. So I'll search for spinner, click the magnifying glass, and again I'll come to interactive and multimedia. Now I'm going to drag my spinner in. As you can imagine, the spinner spins. And what we can do is label our different segments here. So I click on the settings cog and I can add up to 12 segments. So if I have a small class, what I can do is type the names of the students. I can add a few more segments. And here I have my spinner. So I could select a student at random. I could also, of course, select a topic at random, a subject at random if we want to focus first thing in the morning on art or music or English or maths. Really, the use of these dice and spinners is only limited by your imagination. If you've made something like a dice or a spinner that you think you'd like to reuse, all you have to do is grab that with your mouse and drag it up into My Content. What this means is it will now live in your My Content folder on this computer, and so anytime you open Notebook, you can go and find something that you've made before and put into that folder and bring it straight out. You don't have to keep reinventing the wheel. One more thing that is really useful is an interactive timer, or a clock as well. So let's search for timer. Again, we come to interactive and multimedia. We can drag this out. With the timer, obviously, we can change the duration of the timer. We could also have different timers going for different groups. So let's say we have one group that is doing a certain activity for a different amount of time. So we've got one group working on 5 minutes, another group working for 8 minutes. We can have them going simultaneously. And if we want to differentiate them further, I can come to the settings cog and I can really customize this. So I could make this one a totally different color. So we have the green group working on a task for 8 minutes, and we have let's say the red group working on a task for 5 minutes. In order to start them, I simply click play. One final thing that is quite cool, especially for primary school students, is the interactive clock. If I search the gallery for clock, we have a number of really cool things. So when we're teaching primary school students how to tell the time, we have a number of pictures here that we can use. So a blank clock face, for example, so we can draw on the minute, second, and hour hand. We also have a digital clock, so we can perhaps draw the hands on and then write out the time. However, there is also an interactive clock, which is fantastic. So I can drag in my interactive clock, and you'll see that I can interact with this clock. So I can drag my hands around, I could set the time, but also when I come to the settings cog, I could have digital time or both. And so when I'm changing the digital time, we see a change on the clock face. When I'm changing the hands, we see a change in the digital time as well. So I would encourage you to use some of the interactive tools in the gallery. There are a lot more, obviously, than I've just shown you. However, they can really bring an engaging, fun aspect into your lessons in Smart Notebook.
Thanks very much for watching. Please remember that Integrate AV offers extensive training and professional development for teachers. We're a registered NESA provider, and so we can specifically tailor NESA accredited training to your school. If you have any questions or want more information, please contact us. You can email us, education@integrateav.com.au, or you can call us on 1800 742 748. Thanks very much.